Back trainers, so it is officially announced here, and we're going to be seeing Cresselia. That is right. That is a psychic type legendary Pokemon. Are you going to want to power it up? Well, I'm going to tell you right away, right now. For an offensive Pokemon, absolutely not, okay? But if you were to one day be able to drop this in a gym, you're gonna want to do that because this thing is stacked on defense and stamina. So we're gonna go ahead and go over the counters now. Just look at that amazing picture. All right, well, I'm not gonna say I called it because I pretty much just called all the legendaries. So let's go ahead and take a look at counters. But first, let's go over its stats and movesets so you know what you're gonna be getting into. ID, we're over here on the good old Go Hub. Let's take a look at Cresselia stats. So this is a legendary Pokemon, obviously. It's going to be entering the legendary raids today as a tier 5 raid boss, is a pure psychic type Pokemon. Now, this is going to be a max CP when you've caught it and, powered it up. If you have a 100% IV, it's going to top out at 2,857 attack. Now, yeah, ouch. 152 for attack. Defense, though, wow. Check this out. 258 for defense and stamina 260. So this is going to be somewhat of a tanky Pokemon in the raid battles, all right? As far as damage, you don't have to worry about a thing because you're going to be able to go in there with Tyrannitars, Mewtwo's, and the Mewtwo's with Shadow Ball, of course, and just go to work on it. All right, so it is a pure psychic type. So of course it's going to be weak to Bug, Dark, Ghost, resisting, fighting, and psychic types. So Bug, Dark, and Ghost. Remember that, all right? Now let's go ahead and look at the moveset. So we see what we have. Its best moveset is going to be Psycho Cut and Future Sight, followed up by Confusion, Future Sight. It also has Moonblast and Aura Beam. So might as well just go down to the moves. So quick moves, Psycho Cut, Confusion. Obviously, Confusion is going to be the more difficult one, doing a lot more damage. It doesn't matter if you're Dark type and resisting it, it's still going to be doing a good amount of damage. So you don't have to really worry about too much there. Now, for its charge moves, you have Future Sight, Moonblast, and Aura Beam. As far as Future Sight and Moonblast, those are one charge bar moves. And if you're using Dark types, which is super effective towards it, Future Sight is not going to be doing much. But on the other hand, if it does have Moonblast, then you better look out with your Dark types. All right, so let's go ahead and get into counters so we can discuss what you may want to use going up against Cresselia. Alrighty, so I have Dark, Bug, Ghost, and Psychic type Pokemon pulled up here. Yes, I know Psychic types are not super effective towards it, but a lot of them do have Shadow Ball and will be resisting the Psychic, all right, and not taking super effective from that Moonblast and neutral damage from the Aura Beam. So let's go ahead and take a look. So first off, I want to make a team for the Moonblast, okay? So this is not going to consist of any Tyrannitars because it's going to be weak to that. You can obviously use those if you'd like, but I'm going to go down a different route. We're just going to check this out here. And I completely forgot that once I put in the names up here, it goes away once I tap on something new. That is so annoying. So we're just going to kind of go through this here. So first off, just going to pick Mewtwo with Confusion and Shadow Ball to go up against Cresselia with the Moonblast, all right? And then next up, we should probably go with, let's see here. Let's see. Let's do that. Scizor, right? All bug type, and it's not taking super effective damage because it is steel type. Now, I can go with Heracross here, but I'm not going to put it on the list because I know that's not available to everybody. Now, I do have an Alakazam here that has Shadow Ball, so I will throw that on the list, okay? Its survivability is going to be okay. It's not going to be the greatest or anything, but it's actually going to be able to do super effective damage with that Shadow Ball, right? So let's continue on here. So we want to kind of skip out on all the Dark type Pokemon. Now, you can definitely use a Gengar with Shadow Ball, Shadow Claw, any moveset except for Focus Blast, right? That's going to be super effective, but your best bet is going to be Lick, Shadow Ball, or Shadow Claw and Shadow Ball. If you have Hex, Shadow Ball, that works as well. So you are going to be Poison type as Gengar, so you're not going to be taking super effective damage from that Moonblast. So that should be great too. You can go in there with a full team of Gengars, as a matter of fact. I should probably have put Gengar second on the list, if anything, number 1, because like I said, it's going to be taking reduced damage. All right, so let's continue on here. So we need to find not necessarily Dark types, because if it has a Dark type move, that would be great, but I don't want to pick those because we're looking for a Moonblast set right now. So probably a Alolan Muck or regular Muck. All right, now these are not the highest DPS options. I'm just giving you a nice variety of 6 Pokemon, okay? Now, personally, if it was me and I was going up against a Moonblast Cresselia, I would just throw in all my Gengars with Shadow Claw and Shadow Ball, and then of course the one with a lick or something like that, and you can go to town on it. And if you went in there with a big group of people, you can just put your Tyrantars. Yes, they'll take super effective damage, but you're also going to be doing a lot of damage, and if there's a lot of people, you know how it goes. It's just going to be over very quickly. All right, so there you go, kind of for a general idea as to what to use for the Moonblast. For number 6 here, I'm just going to put in this one right here. I know a lot of you don't have it, but Heracross. All right, so there we go, all bug moves on that. So there is a 6 unique team. If I had to go up against it with all of one type, like I said, I would use Gengar. So now let's go ahead and go over the Future Sight set, which is going to be very simple. All right, so now we're going to pick a team that's going to be going up against Future Sight or Aura Beam. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this. Now you can just go in there with Tyranitar, Bite, and Crunch, right? And then we will set the Mewtwo up with Shadow Ball and Confusion or Psycho Cut, whatever you like there. Personally, you may not want to use Gengar here, okay? Because that is going to be taking super effective damage from either Cresselia's 2 quick moves, and then the Future Sight's going to be doing super effective. So maybe this time Gengar is going to sit this one out, okay? So you can just go in there with all Tyranitars, you know, Bite and Crunch all day. And then, of course, you have Gyarados with Bite and Crunch. You can use that as an option as well. Mine personally doesn't have Dark-type moves, so I'm not going to put it in there. But just make sure you remember that. You know, Gyarados keeps coming back as a great Dark-type counter a lot of times, if you have one of those. All right, so let's go ahead and set that up there again. We have Scizor. That's going to be great because we're, you know, not super effective. It's going to be a bug and Steel-type, so it's going to be great for it. And then with Future Sight, you can use your Alakazams, of course, with Shadow Ball. And you may want to go with Psycho Cut, although Confusion's doing massive damage. But let's continue on here. Another Heracross, I mean, would work great. There you go. And then after this, I'm going to just show you the team that I'm going to personally go in there with. I just want to show you a good amount of unique Pokemon that you can possibly have to just have a fun time to go up against it, not just the typical thing. And then, once again, with the Alolan Muck or a Houndoom and Absol. Houndoom and Absol will be absolutely fantastic for this situation. So if we go ahead and look up Dark types, let's see what we have here. So yeah, those two would work as well. And even a Stuntank, you could use that with Dark type moves. Do I recommend Spiritomb? You could use it. It's not going to be your highest DPS option. If you have one powered up, by all means, have a ball. So then you have Houndoom and then Absol, okay? So there you go. Basically, you could just run in there with all Tyranitars or Mewtwo's with Shadow Ball. You guys know the drill. So basically that, all right? So I hope that helped you guys. This is quite exciting. I can't wait to see what they have going on here. So I'm just going to go ahead and set up my team as I'm talking here. Maybe all Mewtwo's. To be honest with you, I'm just going to go in there with all Mewtwo's with Confusion and Shadow Ball. So there we go. I mean, I have them powered up. Might as well use them, right? So there you go. Now, as far as Weavile, now that is another option that you could use if you have all Dark-type moves on it. If you are the few lucky people who actually use your Sinnoh Stone on it, because that is a really cool option. It's going to be doing a little bit more damage than Houndoom. So keep that in mind. And Houndoom is actually almost on par with Tyranitar, if anything, a little bit ahead on damage. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. Its survivability isn't as long as Tyranitar, obviously, but it's just about on par. I have one that's doing more damage than this Sungazer here. So there are your options. All right, so now we just need to wait for them to announce the next community day. So like I went over in my last video, what if they did a mass release of a lot of the community day Pokemon we've already received? I guess that is a rumor going around on the internet, so hopefully we'll see something like that. I guess it would be a little overwhelming. It wouldn't last just 3 hours. I would hope it lasted like a couple days, kind of like the Eevee community day. So yes, I caught this shiny Magnemite yesterday, and I'm contemplating when I'm going to evolve it, because I'm going to for sure. I just love this shiny. It looks amazing. I love the black tips on those. So yes, trainers, exciting times. We have their next legendary raid boss. Are you excited? Let me tell you my thoughts really quick. What do I think? It's going to be something new, exciting for a few days, and then die real hard. I'm not trying to kill the mood, sorry. okay? But just understand Cresselia isn't great to use, okay? If we could drop legendaries in a gym, it'd be great, you know, it'd be amazing. We could transfer these into something kind of like Pokemon Let's Go, then it'd be amazing as well. So we can transfer great IVs. I'm pretty sure we're going to see something in the future where we're going to have another game for Gen 2 and 3 or 4 all together possibly. And we're going to be able to do the same things like Let's Go, transfer our Pokemon into the game. Because I feel like they're taking this in that next step. And for the hardcore players who want a main series type of game like we've always seen, not this shift in gameplay, do I think we're going to get another one? Absolutely. Just be patient, folks. Maybe. I really hope. I'm content with this one. It's very casual for me to play. Like, I'm so hardcore into Pokemon Go competitive. I will sit there and I will play for hours and days trying to perfect my team, and it's so horrible. I get obsessive compulsive. And one more notable mention, if you do have an RK9 with Snarl and Crunch, that will be a great option to go up against Cresselia if it did have Moonblast, because fire types are going to be taking reduced damage from fairy type moves. So there is my last suggestion to y'all. Thank you for watching, traders, and I'll be catching you next time.